a couple days ago, I got a really good score on Beyond the Power, which is a 12 from the ECFA 2021 base pack. This is one of those songs where the first time I played it, I felt like there was absolutely no way I was going to be good at this song because it was just too hard. Like the isolated foot switches were impossible. I would always drop, the double up foot switches. I just felt like I was never going to get good at it. And then some years pass, and I'm like, okay, damn, I'm sick. And I think it comes to show that like it's important to remember the times that you struggled, so then years down the line, you can look back at yourself and say, I can't believe I thought this was hard. Anyways, more about this song and chart. The song and chart are actually produced by the same person, Nav, who submitted this under an alias for a technical showcase. This is the same artist and step artist that brought you other tech favorites like Fractal and Electric Blue 404, which are also, I believe, both technical showcase submissions, and both really, really hard. And also, if this song sounds similar, then it's because it's the same producer. So, anyways, I'm really proud of the score. I want to do a breakdown of how I play it. I'll start by playing the video once through and then going into some smaller details after. So, as far as this chart's concerned, it is hard. It's a little draining. It's a little draining, but this chart's really nice because the responsibilities are very isolated. If you think about charts like Quality Control or like the 11 for Frustrate, they're really blending a lot of tech together, and you're like forced to do, crossovers into foot switches, into brackets and stuff like that. Whereas Beyond the Power has the responsibilities very, very isolated. It's not too overwhelming. They really just hit you with one thing at a time. So for example, in this section here, this is really like the side switch section, and they're not forcing any other things on you, so it's really easy to just focus on that thing. No surprise brackets, no surprise foot switches, or anything like that. And then, like, the next section goes into like these isolated foot switches, which, by the way, the only reason I feel like I'm able to do isolated foot switches is because I made a video about it when I did a breakdown of Harpoon. But same thing here, right? It's really only testing the isolated foot switches here. They're not testing anything else. There's 20ths that come up here, but once the 20ths come up, it's not like they're throwing other things at you, right? It's like they took one tech element or one thing that makes the chart difficult, and they only give you one thing at a time. I think from here, just like the occasional foot switch, and then they take this pattern. There's actually 24th just transition to the next section. Foot switches and then crossovers here. But even in this section, even though it's like foot switches and then crossovers, the responsibilities are very distinct. It's foot switches for 2 measures, crossovers for 2 measures. And then the big finale is a longer 24th run at the end. So that's Beyond the Power. I got 1 excellent, and other than that, it was an awesome combo with 30 awesomes. I just wish I was better at crossovers, so I wouldn't get that 1 excellent. But overall, I don't think quads matter. The way I play the game, I definitely just don't care about quads. So yeah, this was a super good rip for me, and I felt very comfortable about everything I was doing for the entire chart. So let's do a breakdown start to finish of each section. This intro, I've seen people literally just quad stomp the whole thing. The game doesn't punish you for hitting these other notes. So like for these first sets of jumps, I actually go back and forth between these jumps. But other than that, from here, if you watch my pad, I'm actually just doing triple stomps. So I'm not jumping back and forth, and you can do that. I've seen Ryoto, Kyle, I've seen him just do quad stomps for every single jump in the intro, and that works too. So yeah, just triple stomps here, and then triple stomps here. That's totally an option if you decide to do that. As for the upcoming side switch section, I opt to double step every single side switch in this section, and the reason is because each of these side switches has a gap that allows you to kind of get your foot off the panel and playing a different pattern. So the only time I do side switches are when the patterns are so overwhelmingly fast that I can't double step it comfortably. Another reason I would actually do side switches is if there are mines that are so obtrusive that the only way to avoid them is doing the tech. In this case, the mine is really far away, so it's really viable for me to just do double steps. See, like, yes, the last panel my foot was on was a down arrow, and the mine is on a down arrow, but there's just so much distance between here that by the time I get to the arrow that the mine is on, my foot is already well off the panel, so that's why I decide to do double steps for this. And then, even when it comes to this section, I think this particular portion of the side switches is even easier because the double step starts on a down arrow rather than the up arrow, and I have really, really good control. It makes sense for me to have really good control on the down arrow, doing double steps rather than the up arrow, because the down arrow is, if you hold the bar, the down arrow is much closer to you. And it also allows me to hit with my heel, which is kind of where I'm driving the motion from anyway. So that's a very long-winded way of me saying why I do the double stepping here instead of doing the side switching. I'm gonna link my video to how to play Harpoon in the description, but really the long story short here is that for every group of 2, for every foot switch that comes up, you need to hit the first note in the grouping of 2 and get your foot off of the panel as fast as you can. So I'm trying to keep my motion really, really floaty and kind of up in the air as much as I can. I don't really want to talk too much on this, just because I go into deeper detail on how to execute this in my Harpoon video. And then as far as these 20ths are concerned, I actually talked about this in my glitch character video as well. I'm really just focused on hitting the quarter notes. Boom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that just makes sense to me because the song is in 4/4. This kick, that music is driving on the beat for every single measure. So it makes sense to use those quarter notes as checkpoints. Two, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm just taking these quarter notes. The quarter notes are going to land on opposite feet. So the first quarter note, if it's on the right, the next quarter note will be on the left, and alternating and so on. I just think about where those checkpoints are, what foot is going to be hitting each of those checkpoints, and then letting my feet fill in the space on its own. I'm only explicitly timing every 5 notes, and then the 4 notes between, I'm just trusting my body to place. And that takes a lot of practice. I think it's even worthwhile to like throw on a metronome and try to hit out this kind of rhythm even like outside of the game to just learn that. As far as the ending, some easy foot switches here, but I've talked about this in my binary video as well, but let's see here. When this burst comes up, just make sure you get to this quarter note. Don't blend the 16ths into the 24ths. For these foot switches, the foot switches I would see in groups of 4, right? Right, up, left is a grouping of 4. just make sure you're listening for those checkpoints as well. Same deal as the 20ths. The song is really, really driving on the quarter notes, so just make sure you're hitting those checkpoints. 1, 2, 3. I messed up the crossover here, and I forget why. I think it's just probably the issue here is my left foot did not make enough room for my right foot to pass, so I kind of like did an awkward shuffle. What is the... Another reason I probably got that excellent is because it actually looks like my heel is really, really raised here. I really need to focus on keeping my steps low. That way this doesn't happen. Was this a late excellent? So this is on the down arrow. Yep, it's late because I lifted too high. So I really just need to keep my motion, keep it low. Which I think I fixed for a different crossover. This is actually, I think this is the same crossover, right? Yeah, if you can see now, this is the same exact down arrow, same exact cross under pattern. My foot is a lot lower here, so I think that's also some good awareness, right? Where it's good to have some awareness to know that if this crossover is coming up, and you mess it up once, if you know the chart ahead of time, there could be some awareness where you know that this same type of crossover could come up later again. And to realize in the middle of the run that you mess something up and to be ready to fix it the next time it comes up is really important. So I think this is the same crossover. Yep, that's the same crossover, and I got it that time. And then other than that, there's just a 24th burst. Just a 2 count burst. Yeah, I felt really happy about that. As far as lessons learned from this chart, the fact that the responsibilities are isolated really goes a long way. The fact that, like, for example, learning how to play Harpoon translated directly into playing Beyond the Power, and I can insert that skill set directly into this chart. Same with the fact that I learned how to time the 20ths in the beginning of Glitch Character. I was able to insert those fundamentals directly into the song. So if you're very deliberate and focused about how you're learning how to execute these skill sets, if you think about how to learn how to play tech rather than how to play songs and charts, that's going to go a long way, because then you can start adapting things that you learn into other charts. But anyways, thanks for listening. I'd love to hear if this breakdown was useful at all. If you appreciate these videos, likes and comments go a long way. And if you want to see more, a subscription definitely keeps me motivated to make more of these videos. Anyways, thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.